Welcome back, Rainmakers, to the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and today we're going to get into some fun farming. Now, if you've been trying to farm on Ethereum, fun might not be the word that you use to describe it, because every time you go to do a transaction, it is ridiculously painful, right? Well, that has ended with some layer 2 solutions, including what WanChain has done with their WanSwap. Now, many of you have followed me for a while, so you're familiar with WanSwap and what they have going on, but we are going to get into it a lot deeper. So without any further ado, let's get the party started. Join me, Rainmakers. Now, if you're unfamiliar with what WanChain is, WanChain ICO'd in 2017 and was freely tradable in 2018. In fact, let's look at its token here. I'm a big fan of WanChain. They have some of the smartest developers in cross-chain compatibility, because right now many things operate in silos and there's starting to be some bridges built across them. But in the future, the bridges will be extensive and hold high amounts of traffic. And one of the best projects out there in cross-chain compatibility is WanChain. And what I love is WanChain is ridiculously undervalued at present, in my own personal opinion. And I love it when it's undervalued, because that means I can keep buying more at what I feel are extremely attractive prices. So at the peak of 2018, now this is after it was released from ICO, and it started trading at like $3, and then it went all the way up to about $9.30 before we entered the long bear market that we refer to as crypto winter. Now, let's go over the market cap. The market cap right now is at 206 million. So it's not a tiny cap coin, but it's been much higher than this in the past, having been at $9.30 last cycle. So it's not even close to its all-time highs from before, and I love that about it. Secondly, one of the things I look at is how much of the supply is already in circulation versus the max supply. And so we're looking pretty decent there. All right, so trading volume, you know, it's on all the big markets. So you can get it on Binance, you can get it on BitTrue, you can get it on KuCoin, which I'm a big fan of what KuCoin has going on, big fan of Binance as well. And there are links, if you don't have logins to that, in the description below. And if you use the Binance link, actually it let me slide a slider bar over to give you up to 10% of your own trading fees back to you. That's the max amount it would let me do. So I did set that up. And if you don't have a KuCoin account, use that to go ahead and get a KuCoin account, because right now pretty much you can get those fairly quickly. A lot of times what happens in the total bull market, when it goes absolutely crazy, is there's so many new people trying to get accounts that they actually slow down the process. In fact, the last bull market, there was a waiting list of a month to 2 months to get an account, which can be extremely frustrating, because then you can't even trade the cryptos you want to trade when that happens. So WanChain overall, I love the price. The price action recently has been on a descending wedge here, or yeah, like actually it's pretty symmetrical if we were to draw that out. But there's a chance it's breaking out now. Overall, I have just been using this whole period here to stock up more and more. And I bought a lot of this too during the bear market at much, much cheaper prices. But as I've sold off some other things for gains, see, I was buying it actually before this down at 20 cents, and I've been buying all the way through here. So sometimes when some of my other things make really good gains and I pull out some of the money from them and take some profits, I've been putting more and more into WanChain over time, because I feel like it's a rocket that's been preparing to blast off. And even though it's appreciated decently since here, I feel like there's probably a whole lot of room to grow. Now let me show you WanSwap. Now this was done by some of the community members of WanChain, and it was audited by the WanChain team, and they looked through two things. First of all, the team developed what's called a WAN mask, which is just like MetaMask. So you can create an account and you can deposit WAN chain into here, and then it makes it easy to interact with WanSwap. Now WanSwap has different parts to it. First is the swapping side, which is just like Uniswap, except at fees that get you excited. You know, imagine that you've had like a 1970 Ford F-250 and you love it, but every time you go to fill up the gas tank, you spend like $150 to fill it up. And then all of a sudden you're paying like $1.50 to fill up the gas tank. And that's what it feels like using WanSwap, and I love that. All right, so like Binance fees are on the smart chain are pretty cheap. WAN chain fees are ridiculously cheap, and I love that on their swapping tools. So you can pool here, and we're going to walk through and do some stuff. You can farm here. Now let me show you all these different farming pairs. So if you farm like WAN's version of USDT and WAN, right now they're paying an APY of 83%, and they're paying out in what's called these WASP tokens. And that's the token of WanSwap. And so some of these pay out higher APYs than others. Plus you make a percentage of when things get traded on WanSwap, you make some liquidity provider fees. So over time you're making some liquidity provider fees as well as some WASP tokens. Now there is a downside to farming in general, and that's when massive price fluctuations happen and you're in a pair, and what happens is the token that massively outdistances the other, well, you end up with more of the token that didn't go up as high in price because of the way the liquidity providing works. And they call that impermanent loss. And so the fees that you make on the whatever the liquidity provider fee helps balance that out. And in fact, over time, usually you are profitable with that. But when you add in the secondary token or the farming reward, you're usually pretty profitable through farming. So two new things were recently added, and I want to talk about those two new token pairs. So they added actually three, and they're here at the bottom. There's one Zero Chain, which I did a review on Zero Chain recently. Basically, it's file storage through the blockchain, kind of like a Dropbox, but it would be a zero box, and their hope is to save you a lot of money over Dropbox, as well as provide additional security from what Dropbox can offer. Then there's Maker, and you're probably familiar with Maker, related to MakerDAO, and so you can trade those pairs or farm those pairs. And then Vibe, and I recently discovered Vibe yesterday, and Vibe is a really cool project on the gaming and NFT side, and they actually do have some functioning integration between their NFTs and the game that they have. So the game's kind of fun. It's still in like phase 0 or whatever, and when they'll be entering the next phase soon, and so it's still very much in test, but you can play around with it. You can do some actual gaming mining and see how to earn some of the gaming tokens that are on it, and at some point you'll be able to trade some of those gaming tokens for their actual Vibe token. And so what you're mining right now actually won't be tradable. They'll reset it when they enter the next stage, but at that point it should be permanent. Then you could swap it when they come out with their trading function within. You should be able to swap their Vibarium for Vibe. And so literally it can be a play to earn game, which is really cool, and which has made Axie Infinity one of the highest played games out there. And so the Vibe team will have that shortly. And so one of the tokens that's on here that you can now farm is Vibe, and it's paired with WASP token. So we're going to go through how to get some Vibe with WASP, and I'm going to do that live with some of my own wallet. Now, unfortunately, right now I only have 903 WASP. Let's see if I can claim. I'm going to click this so I can see the ones that I presently have staked and see if there's any to pull out. Well, I just claimed some of these recently, but look how low these fees are. That's like, okay, so one change trading just over $1. So literally 0.02 cents is how much this transaction costs. and I'm claiming about 13 won. That's about, or 13 wasp. Wasps are trading, last I checked, about 25 cents. So, in fact, we can look at the analytics and see exactly what wasp is trading at. Oh, 21 cents. Okay. So I claimed about a couple dollars worth. That's just from earlier this morning when I claimed some. So the farming rewards, if you have some money in this, can be quite significant. So we're going to go to swap here, and I've loaded my wallet with some additional WAN chain token. But what I need to do is get it into Vibe. So we're going to go down to WAN Vibe. I'm going to put 1,000. That's just over $1,000. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I want this, and I want it to go to WAN Vibe. So that's going to get me this. Now, let me just make sure the price impact 2.61%. That's fine. I would lose more than this on the Ethereum fees alone. Okay, so I'm going to swap. Now, they did just open this up, so there's not tons of liquidity on WAN Vibe yet. All right, going to approve that. Liquidity provider fee, they make a little bit. Okay. And we're going to swap. Again, the fees on here are super, super, super low. And that was about $1,200 swapped, and it will just take a few seconds. Then I do need to get some WASP token. All right. So let's go from WAN into the WASP token. Where's that? And I need a little bit less of this because I already have some.
John McAfee says he is eating his own.
Thank you for joining the Crypto Rain channel. I'm your host, Jay Murph, and if you haven't already, would you hit the like button? Also, if you subscribe to the channel and join us Rainmakers, well, the goal of this year is to make this year completely rain on all of us. And we're going to do that by having on some of the best guests and some of the best project teams come on and answer our questions as we get the best information so that this year will be phenomenal for all of us. See you soon. All right, if you're still here, it's because you're a diehard, and I always save little tidbits for the end. One of our viewers shared a Telegram group of Vivi. Now, if you've been following the channel, you know that we've been investing or speculating on some NFTs in this space. And I was shared my experience on how NBA Top Shots, the actual NFTs or the moments, vastly outperformed the Flow blockchain. As well as Vivi, as much as their blockchain OMI tokens has increased dramatically. Now, if you did buy like 3 months ago, you're sitting on a pretty 200x return. But for the next like 6 months, my guess is that some of the NFTs, especially the really popular ones, outperform the blockchain from here because it's already gone 200x. And so we've been speculating, which is just riskier investment types, on some of the NFTs, and hopefully you're able to get a bunch of Ultramen. Some of those rares and stuff are going for some pretty high prices, at least on a Telegram group where people are offering to buy and sell. Now, it is risky doing that. I would use that as an indicator of where the values are right now, but as far as trading on there, well, if you send somebody the gems, there's no guarantee that you will get the item they're then supposed to send to you. So for a more guaranteed thing, you can wait for the actual marketplace to open back up. And so that's what I'm doing. Am I going to sell? I did get some Ultramans. I was lucky enough to get 2 rares somehow. I don't know how that happened because it only showed 1 success. And then I was able to get just a couple uncommons, and then I got some commons. And so am I going to sell those right away when the marketplace opens up? No, I'm going to wait, because what happens is a bunch of transactions will go through, and usually the price drops when a bunch of people who just bought it are trying to get some of their money back out, and so they'll make a profit. But I like to hold for when we get past that point, and then the price starts appreciating again, and then I might take some profits. And so overall, what we pay for the common Ultraman, $40. I think I saw they're trading for about $150. So I mean, that's a cool 4x return. Actually, almost 5x not 5x. Whoa. Lost audio there. Okay. That's a cool, quick return. So congratulations to all of you who were able to get into that. Hopefully we all do pretty well on that. As to other things, well, maybe we're out of these red days. Who knows? There was a big push by some of the bears to push Ethereum's price down and also Bitcoin's price down related to some shorts. And it looks like they may have failed. And if so, then likely there will be what's called a short squeeze. And the price will go up from here. And then we might be off to the races again. We'll see. March and April, always an interesting time frame. So we'll see how this all plays out. But I'm going to leave you guys with our Crypto Rain song developed by a really sweet gal out of Argentina who did this for us.
Success is falling, flowing like rain. The timing's right, we're getting paid. Come on, Rainmakers, let's make this happen.